I actually didn't even start composting until I was like 27. And I moved in with a new roommate who I didn't know off of Craigslist. And, he was just like, oh, we compost here. I was like, oh, okay. And it became that habitual to me. It was that easy of a change. Somebody just said to me, we compost here. And it became part of my life. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, I wanted to continue that part of my life. I wanted to continue composting. And there was limited resources in Los Angeles. And I was sitting around being like, these cliches that come up, be the change you want to see in the world. If not you, when? And I was like, no, but really, if not me, when? If not now, like with this kind of nebulous place I'm at in my life, who's gonna do it? And so I took some classes at UCLA, Sustainability Extension. I talked to other people who were doing composting in this space. I got the support I needed and I launched the company purely out of the fact that I wanted to continue a habit that was important to me.
I started at Compostable as a residential driver doing the pickup drop-offs. Coming from the film industry, I realized there's so much valuable resources that are just going to the landfill that we could recover. So I spoke to Mo, I was like, let's get in there and change that space. The way I see it at these events and productions, it's the residential, it's the residences of the city. This is like their primary place of employment. So we're getting all of those people in one space that is generating all of these valuable resources that we can divert away from landfill and put it back into the cycle, which primarily compost. So the moment that I knew that I wanted to work in community composting was I was sitting on a movie set. I'm done with my lunch, it's lunchtime, and I'm just staring at the plate of food that I probably put way too much food on, and I just can't consume anymore, right? And then I realized there's just one trash bin. There's nowhere to put this resource that could go into the ground and feed our soil. And I thought to myself, this is 1 times 300 in one day. Multiply that by how many movie sets are filming right here, right now. How many film screenings, how many parties, weddings, etc. And I thought, I have to change this space.
Composting, for me, is the most accessible thing you can do for climate change. There's a lot of really powerful things that will help move the needle with climate change, but composting is accessible to every single human, every single corporation on this planet. And it's so powerful. There's 2 kind of umbrella categories of this power. There's this landfill diversion, which I think most people understand more intrinsically. This in landfills, organics create methane. Methane is 80 times worse than carbon dioxide in the first 20 years of its life. So when we are bopping around with this 2050 number as the time where we really need to reduce our carbon emissions, methane as a greenhouse gas really plays an important role because it's so potent. So that's the importance of getting organics out of landfills. But then there's this second thing, this second umbrella category that's like a 20-for-1 deal, and that's the creation of this soil amendment. Compost is a probiotic for our soil. It heals sick soils. And when you heal sick soils, you get better water retention, you have stormwater filter, you have healthier plants, which means healthier humans, you have carbon sequestration, you have food sovereignty. So it becomes this almost like this crazy network of benefits that happen when you start composting, that landfill diversion, that precious resource that is limited space, and that soil amendment creation.
The process at Compostable literally starts with you, right? The individual, the party, the event, the office. We collect all your food scraps. It goes back to our facility, sort out the contaminants, and then that goes to the farm. And then from the farm, they compost, right? And then they grow vegetables that feed off of that compost. And then it goes back to you, where you eat that vegetable, then you have an apple core or a banana peel, and it goes back all around over and over again. The benefits of vegetables that are grown with compost, they're just a lot more nutritious. They have more flavor. Your yields are more abundant. It's honestly endless. And then when you're talking about all the other benefits that are combating climate change, it's compost is like a sponge in the soil. It holds water. It filters out pollutants from rainwater. It's trapping CO2. I could keep going forever. I'm not the scientist though. What's so wild is we've considered all of our scraps as just waste, and we throw it out of sight, out of mind. And then it's going to landfill, which we all know is causing a lot of havoc to our environment, right? But instead of that, we can make a positive to our environment and also have nutritious food.
People often think, oh my God, it's gonna smell, there's gonna be pests, I don't know if my partner wants to do it, I don't know where the resources are. And all of those can be true in certain situations, but they don't have to be true. So if you're composting at home, compost shouldn't smell. It should smell like the forest floor if you're doing it right. If you're just collecting your food scraps in a bucket and not actually doing the process of composting at home, but maybe giving it to someone else to do the process of composting, maybe you store it in a way, maybe you put it in your fridge or freezer, or you use like something like a carbon cap on it, and seal the bin up so there's less odor there, pests can get to it less. So I think there's different ways to make composting a more enjoyable experience. I've been composting for years. I don't have any pests in my house, and it's just about the way I'm storing the food scraps before they're ready to be composted. And I think this lack of resources, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to get started. There are so many resources across the United States, actually across the globe, of people starting to compost at home with services like mine. Maybe in their green bins, their city adds them. And so once they start talking about it, someone's like, oh yeah, I know a resource. I can help you start, I can do this. And you realize you're not alone in this process. There are people out there that are just as passionate as I am that want to help you get started. If you're a person who eats food, if you wear clothes, that's all coming from our soils. So if you want to care for those soils, if you want to continue consuming healthy food, one great way to do that is to start composting. Start producing this beautiful soil amendment. It's so easy, I promise you, and you don't have to do it alone.